going to dive into a little Monday Night Football reaction in just a moment, but first, subscribe to Verts if you want the latest NFL and college football coverage, analysis, news, reaction to big games from yours truly, Harrison Graham. Hit that subscribe button because we have you guys covered every single day with videos. We crossed 3,100 subscribers, trying to get to 3,200, ultimately 4,000 and beyond. So show support, hit that subscribe button. It's 100% free. All right, the Chiefs handled business on Monday night, 26-13 over the Saints. And to be frank, it wasn't that close. It was kind of classic Chiefs where they mess around in the red zone. They're kicking field goals. They throw a pick in the end zone that was dropped by JuJu and picked off and run back by defensive tackle Colin Saunders 40 yards. Like, this was very close to being like 41-10. I mean, now you could say the Chiefs do this all the time, and they do to an extent, but really tonight, like, this game really was not close. I mean, the yards kind of shows it, and I think sometimes yards can be overrated. It's like, Harrison, at the end of the day, it's about scoring points, and I get that. But you still put up 26 with the missed field goal on a Saints defense that's supposed to be pretty good, and you outgain New Orleans 460 yards to 220. I mean, that's a bludgeoning. That is an absolute bludgeoning on Monday Night Football. I thought Patrick Mahomes was pretty good. Early on, he was, kind of feeling out the game. His offensive line's pretty spotty at times. Clearly, he's having issues trusting that in pass protection. But 28-39, 331. The one pick should have been a touchdown. It was a quick slant to JuJu that was coming in hot, but it's like, dude, just catch the ball. And he drops it and it gets picked off. Otherwise, I mean, that's 7 more points. Butker missed a field goal. That's 3 more points. They kicked 4 other field goals. I mean, again, like, this was a blowout. New Orleans was never in. I mean, they get this to 16-13 early in the fourth, and you're like, this has been a blowout. And they're down 3 points. And then Chiefs respond. They score. They kick another field goal, put the game away with 10 straight points there. In the end, Chiefs 5-0, Saints 2-3. I think for Kansas City, look, I think you got to be feeling pretty optimistic and positive after tonight. I know they've had some games like this where they leave it closer than they should, but if I'm the Chiefs, I'm thinking, okay, we were pretty close to blowing out a decent team tonight, and they still did kind of blow them out. I thought Mahomes looked sharp in the quick passing game, and that's how they're going to have to be. With the injuries they have and the offensive line being spotty. How about JuJu? I know he dropped the touchdown, but 7 catches, 130 yards. I mean, if you're a Patriots fan, you're like, this guy was completely washed when we signed him and we cut him, and now he's back with the Chiefs and he looks formidable again. I mean, he's not a number 1. He's probably not a number 2 on most teams, but he knows the offense. Him and Mahomes seem to have a good rapport. Like, they can make it work. Kareem Hunt, off the couch, 27 carries, 102 yards. It's nothing flashy, making it work. And, that's kind of who the Chiefs are now. They just make it work because their defense is elite. They have an elite quarterback, an elite head coach, and guys who just kind of know how to play, right? Like, is Kareem Hunt a top 15 running back? No, but he kind of just knows how to play. Is JuJu a top 50 receiver? Probably not. But he knows the offense. He kind of just knows how to play. Like, they just make it work with what they have. And they're comfortable leaning on their defense. And they're comfortable getting in these, slugfest type of games because they're physical defensively. They're willing to run the football. And Patrick Mahomes, when you need him to make a play, he will make it for you. He had a couple of scrambles in this one. The one in the second half where he steps up, side shuffles, extends the right hand. They challenge it and win it late in the game. I mean, that's just a nasty play by him. They get creative on the goal line, hand the ball off to Xavier Worthy. He finds the end zone. He's still a bit of a work in progress, but drew a big pass interference play downfield with him. Should have gotten a second one that they didn't call. But, yeah, I mean, just kind of a methodical win for Kansas City and, kind of a false close game early in the fourth quarter. But anyone who watched that game that knows football at all will tell you that that was not very competitive. To make matters worse for New Orleans, who's dropped 3 in a row and now sits 2-3, a game behind both Tampa and Atlanta in the NFC South. Derek Carr left this game with an oblique injury. He did not return. This type of injuries are tricky. I mean, you need that part of your body to twist and throw the football. I'm already not a huge Derek Carr guy, but a team that's reeling all of a sudden, defense hasn't played as well the last couple of weeks. If Derek Carr's out, they're in major trouble. I mean, they looked through 2 weeks like the surprise team in the NFL. 3 weeks later, they look like they're in danger because their quarterback's hurt, the defense is slipping, they've lost 3 in a row. Atlanta and Tampa are playing good ball. I mean, you could fall behind the 8 ball pretty fast if you're New Orleans here. So we'll get a diagnosis on that either tonight or tomorrow, I would guess. But Jake Haener, I'll say this: if Carr is out, I think you got to split reps with Haener and Spencer Rattler during practice and give Rattler a real opportunity. I just think he has a higher ceiling. Like, if I'm a Saints fan, I would much rather watch Spencer Rattler play than Jake Haener. Now, I'm not in that building. I don't see the practices. Maybe Jake Haener is just leaps and bounds ahead of Rattler. It felt pretty even in the preseason, if not Rattler playing a little bit better. But Haener's been there 2 years. This is Rattler's rookie year, so I get it to an extent. But just things can shift quickly in the NFL. I mean, this team put up almost 50 points against Dallas a couple weeks ago, 47 points on Carolina, and now a few weeks later, they're struggling to move the ball. I get it. The Chiefs are good defensively, but Alvin Kamara, 11 carries, 26 yards. It's just, if you need Derek Carr to carry you, you're not going to win. And he made a hell of a throw on a 4th down in late third, early fourth quarter down the field that probably should have been caught off his back foot. And, he kind of does that too much. Like, he plays like he's Mahomes or Allen in terms of talent, but he's not Mahomes or Allen. But then every once in a while, you're like, well, sometimes he does make that throw. And in that case, he's got to get some help from his teammates. But 165 and 2 touchdowns and a pick, it's kind of just like Derek Carr has forever been the 17th best quarterback in the league, right? Like, outside of the year, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, where he was an MVP candidate before he got hurt late in the year, he's kind of been this forever. Like, he's good enough to be a steady starter in the NFL, but he's not good enough to put a team on your back. Like, Mahomes now, he's not playing his best football. They don't have the personnel to just generate all these crazy big plays. But when you need him to make a play, when you need a drive, he's going to deliver more often than not. Like, if Derek Carr gets the ball back late in that game down a score, does anyone believe he's going to go lead that touchdown drive? Like, say what you want. Like, you compare him to a Dak, for example. Dak had 3 awful turnovers last night. He drives the length of the field on the road, game-winning touchdown on 4th down. Does anyone think Derek Carr is doing that in a big spot in prime time? Because I don't. So I don't view New Orleans as a serious contender in the NFC. In that division, maybe it gets kind of bunched up between them, Atlanta, and Tampa in the 3-team race. But those 2 offenses feel a lot better. We were all, me included, loving Clint Kubiak the first couple of weeks. I don't know what his plan was tonight. It seemed like Derek Carr just wanted to chuck early in this game. And it's like, Derek, you're playing one of the best secondaries in the NFL. This defensive front's getting after you. Like, you need to get with Clint Kubiak. You'll need to get the ball out of your hands. Quick pass. Like, the Chiefs have mastered that. Hey, Pat, our O-line's not very good. We don't have great downfield weapons. Worthy's a work in progress. Just get the ball out of your hands. Hey, JuJu, I'm going to throw it to you a bunch. Yards after the catch. I think they showed a stat. They had 220 yards after the catch. So Mahomes did a good job getting rid of it. Guys made plays. Sometimes quarterback, you can just make it a simple game. And I don't really understand what the Saints are trying to do offensively tonight. They couldn't run the ball. They're trying to chuck the ball. They hit the one to Shaheed in the first half, and Derek Carr's going nuts. And you're just like, all right, you're going to need about 3 of those if you're going to win this game. And they didn't come up with it. But yeah, I mean, the Chiefs keep plugging along. I still wonder / think they probably need a receiver, but Travis Kelce, 9 catches, 70 yards, had a sweet little pit. He caught a little in route and then lateraled it to Samaje Perine that got a 3rd and 22 to 4th and 1. They converted on the next play. It was 2nd and 34 the play before that. So the Chiefs still are capable of erasing these big penalties, which we saw tonight. But yeah, I mean, they know how to win. It sounds cliche. It sounds silly. Kind of the phrases I'm using earlier, they just got guys who know how to play. That's what it is. You watch them play, and it's like, it's nothing flashy. It's nothing sexy. It's nothing that is just like reinventing the game of football. It's just like, yeah, our defense is very good. We have a quarterback who knows what to do in the important moments, and we're well coached. I mean, that's kind of what you get with the Chiefs now. It just, they're different than what they were in 2018 and 19, and even 2 years ago when Mahomes won the MVP and threw 45 touchdowns or whatever it was. Like, you might throw 20 touchdowns this year. I don't think he cares. He's all about winning. That's where he's at in his career. He's won 2 MVPs. Like, he's chasing Tom Brady. That's what he's chasing, and he's willing to play this way. They're willing to win these knuckle fights, and give credit where credit is due for the Chiefs to kind of have evolved throughout this dynasty. All right, we did get a Rashee Rice injury update before kickoff. He is likely out for the year. There was some hope maybe he could return, and there's still a tiny chance, according to Adam Schefter. He's going to have a procedure. They do know he's torn his LCL, but if there's no other damage, there's a slight chance he could return, like maybe in the playoffs or something like that. But probably not. The good news is, though, is but pre-procedure, which when they get in there, they might identify more damage, they think the ACL is intact. Now, maybe there's a partial tear or something like that, but it doesn't seem like there's a full tear. So after, getting a lot of medical opinions, etc., it's not as bad as it could have been. Now, he's probably going to miss this season, which I think the Chiefs need to go get a receiver. I think they can clearly in the short term get by. We saw it tonight, but I think come playoff time, you're going to want a guy better than JuJu as your top option. And listen, JuJu's clearly a nice role player. Like, he's better than I thought he would be when they brought him back. I mean, his knees seemed shot in New England. He had some nice yards after the catch tonight. So I think he's more formidable than even Kansas City probably thought. But is he going to go for $130 in a playoff game? I doubt it. Like, they're going to need to go get somebody, whether that's Amari Cooper or even just another depth guy. Like, I don't know who that is, but I would think they're going to need to trade for a receiver because chances are Rashee Rice is not going to be coming back. So there you have it. Week 5 in the books. 2 unbeatens remaining. It is the Chiefs and the Vikings. If you want more NFL and college football coverage, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We will have my rapid reaction video up tomorrow. Should be up before noon, where I go through every single game, every single team, including the teams on bye week. I think I'll do it that way, but for sure every team that played, and kind of give at least one take on every team after week 5. And then more content throughout the week. Run Davante Adams, Trade Watch. Huge week of college football coming up with Texas OU, Ohio State, Oregon. That's going to be a blast. So we'll get you guys ready for those matchups as well. My name is Harrison Graham. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys soon. Peace.